Hey folks, my name is Robin and welcome back to Only the Best Fantasy Novels. Today I want to talk to you about The Possibilities by Yael Goldstein-Love. This is the first of four outstanding novels I have on the 2024 World Fantasy Award nominees list left to read. I've previously read Starling House by Alexi Harrow and Witch King by Martha Wells. So in addition to this, I have three other ones I want to read to read the entire ballad basically, because the World Fantasy Award it's typically some of the most creative, some of the most interesting fiction that I read all year, and The Possibilities is absolutely in that absolutely fits that bill. This book was a gut punch. So what is it about? Essentially, it's a story of Hannah, a new mother who she's the mother to an 8-month old baby, and this morning when she woke up, her husband tells her that he's going to leave her because he doesn't like the way she's become following the birth of the child. She had a traumatic, she had a difficult labor, and since then she's been dealing with essentially like a form of PTSD. It's not like postpartum depression. It's more like she keeps seeing the moment when during the delivery when they had her son Jack, and he was just blue and his arm was dangling, and she keeps seeing this over and over, and she keeps picturing in her brain, in her mind, and keeps seeing almost as if she's reliving like the worst possible thing that could happen over the course of over the last couple months. And the good news is she's in therapy for it. The bad news is that her fears become all too real when suddenly Jack disappears from his crib. And if she's going to manage to save Jack, she's going to have to delve deep and find out why her mother disappeared when she was quite young. So it's quite interesting. Yeah, like I mentioned, this is one of the books on the 2024 World Fantasy Award nominees list. And honestly, I'm not sure this is a book I am equipped to really talk about. Like this is I'm not a parent, and I will never be a parent. I know that for a fact. And this is a book that is absolutely all about young motherhood. The fears, the challenges, the love, the strength, and just the toll that it takes. I am a relatively new caregiver to someone, and I like this part. A lot of this I could relate to personally because it's things I've gone through over the last 2 years after some stuff went wrong in my life, and the things like that I could relate to that I saw in Hannah in this book are just like the fear of not being there when something happens, the way it's just constantly on the back of your mind, the burnout, just the emotional and mental toll that it takes, just the lack of energy, and just the way you struggle to do things that people just take for granted, like as simple as just going and buy groceries or doing the laundry is it's such a production for you, and people don't are most people will just do it without even thinking. Like it's that kind of thing. It's like I can relate to a lot of that. So in that regard, in terms of that, it's a testament to how well crafted this book is, that I could relate to so much of Hannah's story in this part. The story is told through first person POV, so it does pack a punch because of all of that. Because we get Hannah's thoughts in all of this as things play out. Like it's like I said, I'm not sure this is a book I'm equipped to talk about really, because it's a gut punch. And it also, in addition to being about young motherhood, it also has a feminist twist about it, because when Jack disappears, her husband, he starts to freak out. He essentially falls apart on her. In addition to having literally just said that he's gonna leave her, He completely falls apart. He's basically useless. Whereas when Jack goes missing, the system, as we know it, fails her. Like the book may not seem very sci-fi or SF, but there is a sci-fi element to it. Like people start to forget that Jack ever existed in the first place, and as a result of that, like the system fails her, the police fail her, her therapist fails her, their friends fail her, because no one remembers Jack ever existed, and the only people who she was able to turn to, who unconditionally supported her, was this group therapy. She one of the things that she does is like a group therapy, like a group social session, essentially, with all young mothers of all kids under 1 year. And she just went to them. She told them she's going to do something difficult. She needs their support, and without asking questions, they just 100% had her back. So that's it like it that's that's what I meant. And in addition to, like, that's not the only instance of a case where, like, it was a woman who had to who backed her up. Like, there is a part involving a female scientist where, like, once again, she, like, that was one of the few people who pretty much unquestioningly supported her. So there is a heavy feminist element to to the um the story in that regard. But overall, honestly, this was a pretty short book. It's plotted, and it literally reads like a thriller, as much of all this is going on, because we get an initial setup, we find out a little bit about Hannah and their life, and what she went through and all of that. And then from the minute Jack disappears, like, as you can imagine, things escalate, and it never quite relents from there. It's just go go go, because the more Hannah delves into the mystery of why her mother left her, and how and what she needs to do to recover Jack, she kind of she learns that she's on a clock, and she needs to she has very limited time in which to recover Jack. And the ending was spectacular. The ending of this book, like, it's just so on brand and hard. It's the only possible ending, given so much, like, how the type of thematic work that's going on in this book. Like, it's just brilliant. At the same time, like, or should I say, like, the climax? I think I should say, like, the climax, because it doesn't quite, the ending is quite different from what like, she was able to learn from her mother, and that's the reason why she was able to take a different path at the ending. And was it the right path? Was it the wrong path? Honestly, like, it's an interesting conundrum. It is a fascinating one to think about. Like, this is easily a book that's going to live in my brain for quite a while yet to come, as I kind of ponder that dilemma that she had to deal with in the climax of this book. But brilliant stuff. Like, if you're ever in the mood for a short read, this is probably not going to be like a super fun one, because of the content. Like, it can take a lot out of you easily. Especially if you're depending on what might be, like, sensitive points for you. But holy crap, was this one rewarding. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about The Possibilities by Yael Goldstein. Like, this book is why I love the World Fantasy Award so much. Like, the novels that get nominated for that award, they're without a doubt some of the highest quality fiction that I will ever read each year. And this book, I can easily see it taking the award. If this book wins, I wouldn't, even if it's not personally my pick. By the time I'm finished done reading all these nominees, I would not think, I would have no problem in that, because this book was wild. And yeah, if you've read this book, feel free to drop something in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on it. If it sounds interesting, let me know. Just drop something in the comments. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say. If you made it this far into the video, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.